So not gonna be a funny video this week, sorry, but just something I've been thinking about a little bit and kind of wanted to get off my chest. Been thinking quite a bit about a phrase I've heard: everything ends badly, otherwise it wouldn't end. It's a common expression, most notably from the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise. I never really liked the movie myself. It's like, why am I waiting 15 minutes for this guy to juggle bottles or whatever? I just want a whiskey, please. But it's most often used to describe relationships, and in a way that relationships end, which is that if they don't end badly, they don't really end. Or in other words, they're still going. That's kind of what I believe, is that if you don't go through a period of mourning or hating or at least disliking someone, then you really won't be able to move on. Hate's probably too strong of a word, but if you don't break your relationship, you won't really be able to form a new one. And that's where it gets a little tricky, because as much as you can ignore someone or shut contact off, it doesn't change unless you actually make a decision to change it. Now, I also think that's the case with any relationship, not just romantic ones. I first started thinking about this when I was looking at my relationship with my dad. When I was a very little kid, we were best buds. And then at some point during puberty, we spent about a year or two just sort of at each other's throats. Like, everything he said, I second guessed him or fought him on it. And he thought I was just being a little jerk, and I thought he was being an overbearing old man. And as much as we loved each other, we went through a good period of, disliking each other as much as we could. And I'm not proud of it, and I know it's pretty common, but it still doesn't make me feel good. But I was talking with him the other day, and we sort of figured out that without that period of mutual dislike, he would never have seen me as anything other than a little boy. And I would never have seen him as anything other than like an overbearing old man. And now we have a very good relationship, and it's based off both of us, seeing each other as adults. A new relationship that would not have been able to flourish if the old one hadn't really been broken. So I think it applies in a lot of different situations, but most importantly, romantic ones. You can't move on until you've closed the door definitively on what you were doing. And that's hard, right? Because you can delete their number, but you still have their Facebook. You can stop taking their calls, but you can check their Instagram. Because if you don't break up, you don't hate seeing them. You don't hate getting that text. You probably like it because you have formed this bond and you do love that person, of course. But it sort of takes an effort and a decision to actually break an existing relationship. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe you don't care that you have sort of unresolved feelings for a ton of different people. You're setting yourself up for failure in a couple of ways. You see them with someone else, and then you get jealous, and you're not allowed to be jealous, but your heart doesn't know that. It doesn't care about technicalities or what labels are on things. It just feels what it feels. And since you never had that bad breakup, you don't really harbor any bad feelings for them. So you're sad because of the romantic situation, then you feel guilty for feeling that sadness, and that's not fair to you. And two, obviously the more important one, is that it's hard for you to fully commit to someone when you sort of have feelings lying around for other people. To really be with one person, you kind of have to leave all the other ones behind. And these people that you never really broke it off with, or you didn't really have a bad breakup with, suddenly they become entangling relationships, and they're sort of just tripping you up from really connecting with someone else. So what's a good breakup? I think you honestly have to go through a period of time where you just don't like that other person. And that's what it sort of means for it to end badly. You love them, that love never goes away, but you can sort of shift your view so that it's a distaste. Maybe that even happens when you're together, Sometimes that's easy because all the annoying stuff is happening right in front of your face. But in order to really break it off with someone, I think you do have to dislike them for a period of time. Focusing on yourself and figuring out how to do you and move forward. And do anything you can not to attack the other person. Sort of maintain a level of respect. And hurting someone else is never going to make you feel better from a pain that you're feeling. That's what Batman's taught us. That's, I think, how you build a new relationship in any way. With someone else, with your ex, with the same thing. I think that's where the can exes be friends thing comes into play. Of course you can be friends. You obviously shared a whole bunch, but your new friendship is not a downshift from an intimate one. It's not a girlfriend with no sex. You have to build a new friendship between two people who are at new points in their lives and even have some history but are forming a new story. So the point of all this, I think, is twofold. One, if you're going through a tough time, struggling with a breakup right now, I feel for you. I've been there. We've all been there. And you'll get through it. And the best thing you can do is embrace these feelings and think about what you're feeling and why you're feeling them. And it doesn't sound possible, but maybe embrace the process. And if you're looking to avoid a conflict, don't. Figure out what's going on and really sort of dig into it. Have a breakup if you need to have one. It's natural and sometimes it's necessary. Ghosting on someone can seem like a kind thing to do, but it's worse in the long run. And two, maybe think about all the unresolved people or relationships or whatever that you have sort of hanging in your life. I'm not saying break it off with everyone. I'm not saying go out with everyone, but you know, just weigh the costs and benefits. You shouldn't go through life avoiding heartbreak or heartache or whatever, because those feelings, that means you actually went for it and it didn't work out, and that sucks. But going for it is so much better than numbing yourself the whole time, because as bad as you feel now, the other side of the pendulum is still there. You know what I mean? And that's really what you're going for. You're looking for that person that you can connect with, you know, that lights your hair on fire. That's the ultimate goal. I mean, that's what they write poems about. That's what they write sonnets and songs and fucking go to war about. And I think that if you're not ready or able to commit, you won't be able to get there. Anyway, just a thought. Good luck. I'll see you next Tuesday.